to the second installment of the Avena Knit Along. In this particular episode, we are going to talk about the Colorwork yoke, my favorite part. I'm very, very excited. Before we do that, we need to talk a little bit about the chart, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. So first of all, grab your chart and let's quickly look at the legend. So you'll notice that there are three symbols. There's an X, there's a V, and there's like a little Y looking branch shape, okay? So first of all, the X means no stitch. You ignore it when you get there, pretend it isn't there, and skip over it. So for example, on row 1, you will see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 X's in that row. You're going to just ignore them, pretend like they are not there. So you'll notice that the knit with main color is in white. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those, and then there's one dark colored that is knit with contrast color 1. So that means you're going to knit 5 with the main color and 1 with the contrast color. 5, 1, 5, 1, all the way around. That's all that means. Now, at the top of the X's, you'll notice that there's an increase, okay? As you follow the column of X's up, you'll see that there's an increase right above that, and then the stitch appears because you're creating it. So then the X's go away. So you'll also notice that when you encounter a V, you will also encounter the little branch right after it. That's because the V is a slip one purlwise and the branch is that cool trick we did in our increase rounds where you scoop the left leg of the stitch below it and you knit that. So there are 2 stitches involved in the increase, which is why in this chart you will always see them together. Okay, so now that we know about that, the other thing you want to do is you want to keep either your second longest set of needles, or in my case, because I am lucky enough to have an interchangeable set, I have a slightly longer cable here. As you are going around, these will start to get incredibly smashed on here, and you will know that it is time to add your, let's see, where's the end of my needle? Right here. See how much longer this one is? So you will know that it's time to switch to a longer cable as we are doing our increases around the yoke. So keep that handy. And with that said, let's start the color work. All right, I have my work here and I already have the main color attached, obviously, so I need to knit 5. So I've already knit 1 just to prevent this from flying off on camera. Haha. All right, so now we're gonna do 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's time for the new contrast color 1, which in my case is this really cool pink color, which I'm very excited about. So when I join, I like to make a loop like this. I'm going to insert into the stitch that I'm going to introduce the new color on, and then I'm just going to pinch this and put this over my right hand needle and hold both at the same time, and then I'm going to knit a stitch, and boom, I've introduced my new color just like that. So now I'm going to separate this out so the tail is down here, and maybe I'm just going to kind of swirl it around with the tail to the other color so that these guys just kind of stay down in there. Okay, so now this is going to be my repeat all the way around. So what I like to do with my color work is I like to hold one color in each hand like this. Now, I go into very good detail about catching the floats as you go in another video, which happens to be titled Catching the Floats as You Go. And this will show you in great detail how to hold each color in each finger and work while you catch the floats as you go. So I'm going to do a quick review of it here, but if this seems confusing to you, please go watch that other video. Now, Jen also mentions that the best thing to do is to keep the main color to the right, which I have, and the contrast color to the left. The reason why is because we're going to be using this color a lot more often than we are this one. All right, so let's just get into this. Now, I like to catch the floats every third stitch, and here's why. Let me just very carefully do 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course, because these are 2-headed stitches, this first round is going to be a little difficult because you have to spread them apart and then get in there. All right. Okay, so now I am going to use this hand to scoop this one off of this finger. So I'm going to duck into this stitch, and notice how I'm using my thumb to hold it in place, because knowing me, I'll fling it right off the end. Then I'm just going to reach over here and scoop this off of my finger. So you can see I'm bending my hands. You can't see it, but my elbows are kind of flaring out to the side here. So I'm going like this so that I'm turning my hands, and I'm just going to scoop that through the loop, and then I can slip that loop off just like that. Okay, so now I've got my one color and then my 5 stitches in between there. Now the problem is I have this great big float of the contrast color one across the back. Now, this is fine in this case. 5 stitches is not that many, plus we're using a smaller size needle. If you get into something like 10 stitches, that float is going to catch on your bra strap when you put the sweater on. Guess how I learned that one? So I very quickly learned how to catch the floats as I go. Now, even though this is not a very big float, this is a good place to learn how to do it. Okay, so I'm just going to undo this stitch, and I'm just going to back up a little bit. So I'm just going to back up to 2 stitches. All right, now let me get these in the correct hands now. Okay, so I have the main color in my right hand, like Jen suggests, and I have the contrast color in my left. So what I want to do is I want to catch this float right in the middle. So all I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to bring this to the front of the needle. See that? Now I have my pink yarn against the green stitch. I'm going to go under both pieces. Hang on, let me get a little, oops, sorry, my tail's getting in the way. Okay, so I've got both pieces together. I'm going to go under both loops, just like this, and I'm going to knit them together as if they were one. See that? Now, you cannot see that on the front side. Let me do the other 2. 1, 2, and then I am going to do my pink stitch, boop, just like that. All right, so now this looks exactly the same as the previous example, but if I turn it over, get this out of the way, that big long float is not across the back. See that? Because over here I very sneakily caught it so that it is not in the way, and it will not hook on your bra strap when you put this thing on. Okay, so let's demonstrate it again. So I like to do this with every third stitch. So 1, 2, bloop, put that in front, knit them together as if they were 1, 3, 4, 5, and now I'm going to grab a stitch off of this finger over here, just like that. 1, 2, catch the float, 3, whoops, I'm gonna do my color just like that. Check that out. This is just going to be so fun. And then if I turn it over on the back side, I don't have those really, really long stretches where I reach from here to here and then from here to here. So it is buttoned up quite nicely in here. And now you have all of the tricks you need to sit down and finish up all of the color work in this yoke. I am very excited to do this. Oh, don't forget to change to your contrast color 2 where it shows in the chart. So I don't even know what I did with my contrast. Oh, it's on the floor. So I've got this really pretty pink, and it's going to merge into this right here. Okay, so make sure you have that handy. Don't forget to not miss changing to that color when you get there in the chart. And I'm going to work the entire chart, and then in the next video, we are going to tackle short rows. So I'll see you there.